First and 21 now. Pistol set, and Lewis drops back, throws, and it is intercepted at the 22-yard line.
From the 14 for the night.
Noah Hamilton.
Yeah, and Noah did a nice job of reading the quarterback and the throw. It looked as if he was going to be open, but I watched him. He was laying in wait as the ball came and made a play on the ball. And take some courage because you're one-on-one out there, and if you don't come up with it, that's probably going to be a touchdown.
In week one of the playoffs, as the Bearcats kick off, on the return, it's Noah Hamilton. Slips by one defender coming up the sideline. He's going to get out to midfield. A nifty return by Noah Hamilton, who already has an interception tonight. On 4th and 18, will punt the football away. The line drive kick caught by an up-back. Noah Hamilton. Hamilton with a head of steam. Down at the North Butler 37-yard line. So good field position for the Knights. 3rd and 2, Scott. Do you focus on getting the first down?
Well, I think you might as well drop back and throw it long because you really only have time for a couple plays anyway.
From the 41, Burt sets up. Complete to Hamilton to the 30. Hamilton runs out of a tackle to the 20, the 15. He's at the 10. Tackled at the 6. The Knights need to hurry up. 11 seconds. On 3rd and long, the Bearcats in tight with 2 tight ends and 3 running backs. But they have thrown out of this formation in the first half. They'll pass here. Pressure comes. Pass is intercepted by Hamilton. He's off to the races. The 30, the 20, the 5. Touchdown, Knights!
Noah Hamilton, who's been busy out on that right cornerback safety position all night long. He made a great play earlier. Got beat on a tip ball the second time, and that time, as you and I could see very clearly, made a great play on the ball. It made it look like the receiver was wide open. He had plenty of time to step in front and high-stepped it the length of the field. It looked like about 65 yards on the pick 6.
Second pick tonight, 3rd on the year for Hamilton. Lewis barks out the call, takes the snap, wants to throw, stays in the pocket, fires one downfield, and Hamilton got his mitts on it again, but can't reel in his 3rd interception of the game.
Hamilton's really got a nose for the ball out there, and that was just simply a jump ball situation. And I think he's about 6'4" out there, and got some good ups to him. So you like their chances in that situation. So nonetheless, the Bearcats come up with nothing on first down and brings up a long 2nd and 10.
North Butler's turned the ball over 3 times tonight, all interceptions. The last one was returned for a touchdown by Noah Hamilton, who has 2 of the 3 picks. First down to the 30. Lewis under center, drops back to throw. Pump fake. Wants it deep. Throws into the coverage. Hamilton's got a hat trick. Noah Hamilton on the return now. Stutter steps. Cuts back in. And he's down deep in North Butler territory at about the 26. 3 interceptions for Noah Hamilton tonight. And they're going to run option. He'll get the pitch away. And it's Tester out the ball carrier. He's knocked off his feet by Noah Hamilton. Brandenburg giving chase as well. And it'll be 3rd and 8. Let's see if they let Miller throw the football here.
If you had to give a game ball out there right now, I'm not sure who you'd give it to. I mean, Max Bird obviously has had a great performance, but Noah Hamilton, both sides of the ball, I think his play defensively is really what turned the game around.
A hat trick on defense with 3 interceptions. Hamilton's only a sophomore. Burt's a sophomore. Holmgard's a junior. Jennings a junior. So many of these players have more football to play when this season is done in a Knight uniform. On 3rd down, Miller drops back. He's under pressure, sets his feet, throws away, and picked off by Hamilton. You've got to be kidding me. 4 interceptions for number 14.
And that was not an easy interception. A Newman defender cut in front of him and actually got a fingertip on the ball, and he kind of caught the ricochet. And, a big night. We talked about some record-setting things with Burt throwing the ball. I'm not sure, and I've been around a long time, I've ever seen anybody pick off 4 in the secondary. So Now, with 5:07 to go, obviously the Knights are going to try and run a bunch of clock here.
I think word got to the sideline that you weren't prepared to give him the game ball yet, so I better add one more.
I was hesitant there going into that play, but I think we're okay now.
Team into the second round of the 2020 playoffs. Here's a recap of the scoring, kind of ho-hum in the first half. The first touchdown of the game, courtesy of Alex Schultz of the Bearcats, a 4-yard score after a long pass. Corbin Lewis to Fletcher Buss, 60 yards to set up the score. The extra point good, and it was North Butler 7-0 midway through the first quarter. The Bearcats would add to their lead at 7:08 to go, second quarter. Dawson Testro with a 1-yard touchdown run. The Knights blocked the extra point, making it 13-0. Right before the half, the Knights get on the scoreboard. James Jennings, a 10-yard touchdown run, a play after he caught a long pass from Max Burt. Kate Schilling's extra point, making it 13-7 Knights with 1:14 left in the half. Believe it or not, the Knights would actually get the football back one more time before intermission and had a pass in the back of the end zone intercepted as time expired. Newman Catholic got the football to begin the second half, and it was all Knights in the second half. Max Burt to Nash Holmgard, 52 yards with the extra point. Newman Catholic led for the first time, 14-13, a minute into the third quarter. The next possession, Noah Hamilton with the first of not one, not two, not three, 4 interceptions tonight for the sophomore. This one a pick six. He returned 65 yards. Actually, that was his second interception of the ball game, the first occurring in the first half, but this one resulting in points. Extra point good, 21-13 Knights, just like that. Again, we're just not even 3 minutes into the third quarter at that point. The Bearcats would gather themselves and drive it down and score. Corbin Lewis with a 14-yard touchdown run. The Bearcats tried for 2, which would have tied the game, but they failed, making it 21-19 Newman with 5:35 to go in the third. The Knights would score 4 more touchdowns before the night was done. James Jennings with a 4-yard touchdown run. Extra point good, 28-19 Newman Catholic. That with 2:47 to go in the third. Tate Schilling with a 2-yard touchdown run at the 2-minute mark of the third after another North Butler turnover, 35-19 the score at that point. Then with 54 seconds left in the third after the interception by Hamilton, a 42-yard touchdown pass from Max Burt to James Jennings. With the extra point, it was 42-19, and Burt wasn't done. One more touchdown pass, this one a 68-yarder to Nash Holmgard. The extra point making it 49-19 with 6:42 to go, and that would be the final tonight as the Knights improve to 6-2 and will take on either Wapsie Valley or Starmont next Friday night.
Yeah, and looking back, we always give props to what all the players out there, but I think we got to give the props to the coaching staff this game because something was said at halftime or a light was switched or there were some changes made because the Knights who came out, let's face it, they were pretty lackluster and only scored 6 points in the first half, turned the ball over 3 times. Came out on fire in the second half and very determined. And, as I said, they've been a resilient bunch all year long. They've found themselves down in almost every ball game and have found a way to win the majority of them. So great victory for the Knights and on to Wapsie Valley, I'm sure.
Taking a look at the individual stats for the Knights, Max Burt, 15 of 24 passing for 302 yards. And I'm going back to count up the touchdown throws. I think he had 3 of them tonight, but I want to double-check on that.
Yeah, at least, I'm sure.
He had one to Holmgard. That was his first touchdown pass of the night. And he had one to Jennings, and then that last one to Holmgard. So 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Again, over 300 yards through the air for Max Burt. On the receiving end of those passes, Jennings with 6 catches for 114 yards. Holmgard, 4 catches for 140 yards. That's quite the yards per catch average.
Give yourself about 35 a play, yeah.
Noah Hamilton actually had more catches on defense than offense tonight. 4 interceptions. He had 2 catches for 32 yards. Doug Taylor, 2 catches for 14 yards. And Kate Schilling with a reception for 2 yards. Schilling on the ground, a game-high 67 yards on 12 carries. Jack Manzio, 5 carries, 30 yards. Jennings, 3 rushes for 23 yards. Burt, 5 carries for 22 yards. Fabian Brandenburg had a couple of carries late for a total of 3 yards. The Knights did turn the ball over 3 times, all in the first half. They took much better care of the ball in the second half and were penalized 4 times for 45 yards. For North Butler, their quarterback, Corbin Lewis, was 4 of 12. He threw 4 interceptions. The team was actually intercepted 5 times as Colvin Miller came in at quarterback late and was picked off by Noah Hamilton. That was Hamilton's 4th interception of the game. Fletcher Buss had 1 catch for 63 yards. Dawson Testrout with 1 catch for 15 yards. Colvin Miller, 2 catches for 10 yards. On the ground, Testrout ran the ball 9 times, picked up 43 yards rushing. Alex Schultz, 6 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown. Corbin Lewis, 5 carries, 33 yards. Colvin Miller, 5 carries for 23 yards. Tanner Argis had a carry for -2 yards. 6 turnovers did in the Bearcats tonight. 5 of them were interceptions. They were penalized 6 times for 65 yards. And it bears repeating, to have one player pick up 4 interceptions in a game, Scott. I don't know that that's a school record, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
I would have to think that's a school record. And looking back so far on how the season has gone, one thing that we haven't really touched on, we did early on, is the Knights came into the season a very inexperienced ball club. As you mentioned, they have a whole lot of sophomores out there and a few juniors sprinkled in and a couple seniors sprinkled in. And, whether this season goes on for 9, 10, 11, 12 ball games, they've gotten some valuable experience out there. Going to have at least a 9-game season, hopefully more, and you can kind of see the character in the kids starting to come out the further the year goes.
Congratulations to the Newman Catholic Knights, who are now 6-2, advancing to the second round of the playoffs. We assume they'll play Wapsie Valley, but we have not seen or heard a final score in their game against Starmont. I assume that will be at Wapsie Valley. They're the higher seed.
So. They were the higher seed, so I would plan on a trip there. It's been so long. I think Wapsie Valley, if I remember correctly, is a little northeast of Waterloo and maybe a little southwest of New Hampton. That
sounds right.
Kind of down in that area.
Like
down
Fairbanks area.
Yeah, it's kind of a conglomeration of a couple school districts, and they've been very good for a lot of years in football.
The other scores that we do have to share one more time: Mason City defeats Gilbert on the road 16-14, and Clear Lake a 35-14 victor over Garner Hayfield Ventura.
Sounds like still a lot of football to be played in North Iowa.
It'd be tough to top this one. Of course, it seems like we say that just about every Friday night.
We've been in it. A 6-0 ball game is no fun. We haven't had any of those this year, that's for sure.
Not even close. 49-19 the final here as Newman Catholic defeats North Butler to advance in the postseason. For Scott Kruckenberg, this is Mark Dorenkamp signing off from Newman Catholic High School in Mason City. Good night, and God bless.